Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, September 11th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. Before we kick off today's show, I would like to take the time to remember those that we lost in 9/11. And September 11th, 2001, one of the biggest tragedies happened worldwide. And I would like to take the time to honor and remember those that we've lost in that tragedy, September 11th, 2001. So let's take a moment before we get into our interview with our very special guest. He's here, Cohl Echols, ladies and gentlemen. Hope I pronounced it right. But I would like to take the time to remember those that we lost in September 11th, 2001. One of the biggest tragedies swept the nation in New York City. So, the World Trade Center, my heart goes to those who we've lost in that. All right? So without further ado, let's get into our interview with our very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can see, we did a hair color change. We are back to blonde. Now, throughout this week, I did darker hair colors, but I said, you know what, since it's New York Fashion Week, we had to come through with the lace and everything for this week. All right, you look beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And the designer that influenced today's look is actually Stella Jean. So I wanted to do something a little different, a little sexy, a little feminine. All right. Shout outs to Jay Evans. Without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest. Hello. Hello.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Let's see if it fixes that. Oh no. Here we go.
Wait a minute. He froze up on us. Give it a sec, ladies and gentlemen. As we all know, New York Fashion Week kicked off. Make sure you guys go and check out Style by Stevie. Yesterday, Sergio Hudson did his show, and it was beautiful. The pieces were amazing. What I loved about it is the pinstripe. Now, what I thought about is just that old and that nod to the 90s. A lot of 90s inspiration in some of these collections. But while we're waiting on Cohl, I'm going to just talk briefly on that, touch briefly on that. New York Fashion Week, some of the collections have been very simplistic. And as we all know, I don't like simplistic. I like a little drama. I like things that stand out. And what I'm wearing today is a representation of one of the designers that I've seen from New York Fashion Week. I know Christian Siriano had his show celebrating 15 years in the industry, in the business, and it was absolutely beautiful. All right, so I'm going to exit out. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Let me add Cohl back, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, there we
There
go.
we are. Welcome. Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's such a pleasure to have you here. So before we kick off this interview and conversation, how has 2023 been for you so far with the year being halfway out?
Um 2023. Well, one, I hope I can say it. 2023 has been both pleasant and unpleasant. I feel like ups and downs. I really do feel like the yin and yang of life. I have a lot of fun with the ups, and I also feel the downs.
It's I definitely agree because it's been an emotional roller coaster for all of us with this pandemic, and then you've got the writer's strike, and so many things going on. We'll get to that later on in the interview, but let's start on your journey before. Did you always knew that acting would be a passion of yours?
Um, so for me, this takes me back to more like high school. When I was in high school, I had a friend who wanted to write a script, and I've never written a script before. I never did anything like it. So then I went to the process or understanding the process of what it's like to write a script. And when I did that, for the first time, it took me over. It like consumed me basically, and all I wanted to do was write scripts. So from honestly then on, I switched over my whole curriculum. I switched over everything to be film related, and I learned since high school. Like I started to make passion projects then forward.
All right, all right. So, which cult classic film, if you could be a part of, which character would you choose if you could choose any film?
Any film? Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many. Um, if I could be any film, I actually would probably be try to be Lakeith Stanfield in Atlanta. I actually really like the show Atlanta.
I see.
Um, it's very fun. It's very down to earth and stuff like that. So I would really like to be a down to earth character while still going through drama, obviously.
And y'all two have a similar style. I'm looking at you right now, and your aesthetic reminds me so much of him. So I figured you were going to say that.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yes. Speaking of style, because I know you've caught glimpse and wind to me talking about New York Fashion Week. Who are some of your style influences? Because I'm looking at you now, and this piece right here that you're wearing is actually something actually that I would have seen in New York Fashion Week. Like which designer it was, I cannot remember. It would have to be. I know Peter Doe did a collection not too long ago, and I cannot remember the designer's name, but it will come back to me for sure. But that looks like one of the pieces that he made.
Thank you. That actually really means a lot. That does mean a lot. I've always been into like fashion and expressing myself also since high school. It's been a part of like my artistry. So like for today, I kind of dress myself almost in an acting way about how I feel on that day. I was very happy for the interview, and other things like that. So I felt very studious and went with what I my idea of like studiism is. And then I'm starting this whole like headscarf thing off. This is like my first year trying it, and it's I like it. I like it a lot.
So, so who are some of your style influences? Where do you get your inspiration for style
It's I don't know, cause like it's really hard to say because I feel like I learned it from my mother. I guess I would get my influences from her, um, and then I just took off from there. So like maybe she gave me like these two things match. You know, this goes with this. Try this out with that, and don't be afraid to stand out with colors or try to find out
from?
what color can make your skin pop more. Um, and then after going through high school and middle school and experimenting with it, I kind of just I would honestly say it would be her. She had more of an Erica Baduism to her, I guess.
I can see that in your style as well too. I can tell that she's somewhat been an influence on you as well too. And one thing I love about Erica is that she's not afraid to set her own trends. So if you like Erica Badu, Rihanna's one of my biggest style influences, and Beyonce as well too. I like sexy, I like feminine, I like classy, I like couture, I like all of those things, and these women embody that. So you mentioned Erica, and I thought about her instantly, or Luca Sabat from the hit show Grownish. Your style reminds me so much of his. So,
Thank you, thank you.
all right. So acting, the passion for acting. At what age did you discover? Okay, yeah, I know you said high school. At what age did you say this is something that I want to go full term with? Because I know our parents, when we get into this entertainment business, our parents are like, well, I don't know, maybe you should choose this instead of acting.
Um, Honestly, my family has always been very supportive of me in my dreams. Like I have a lot of dreams and aspirations for directing and screenwriting as well, and they've always been like very supportive of me. I want to say like for more acting and doing more acting things came around college, because I had a friend who was just really good at acting, and like seeing that person act in monologues kind of inspired me to try it myself. So I tried to take different classes, and I just met more people and more people. And by meeting more people, you just get so inspired because like a lot of people are really good at acting, and it really helps you out in being good at acting yourself, where you can look at somebody and be like, wow, that was amazing.
And I found out who it is. I just remembered the designer is Helmut Lang. Yeah, yes, the piece that you're wearing today looks similar to his collection because he did a lot of graphics. He took it back to the 90s. And the designer that I was inspired by is LaPonte, who designed for Beyonce's Renaissance tour. So I decided to go through all see-through, lacy, frilly, but I like drama when it comes to style. So I just remember. All right. So, what music inspires you to create or get into character while you're on set?
Depends on the character. Um, Wholeheartedly. Definitely movies from the past help me with that part. Going through like I'm sorry, I'm outside and you hear a little bit of
You're
outside.
good.
Going through a little bit of it depends on the scene as well. Like I'm really trying to think right now, and I'm thinking more like if it's like say if it's a hype scene, then I listen to Future. But like say if it's I'm just trying to have a down to earth conversation or something like that, then I would probably listen to like more of a Janae Aiko or an Erica Badu. Um, so for me, it depends on both the. It depends on three things: the character, the social economic to the character, because that'll influence my speech patterns, what I'm doing, my attitude, really, what I
Yeah.
have access to, and then the mood. So when I could get all three of those things, like um, a feeling of like a Lana Del Rey despair versus like an Aaliyah despair are two different kind of despairs, but they're both despairs, and it has a lot to do with like the background of raising.
Describe a time you had to take on a role that was completely out of your comfort zone, where it's just like, okay, this is a little bit out of the norm for me. I know with style you're used to taking so many risks and stepping outside of your comfort zone, but what describe a time for us that you had to take a role that was a little bit challenging?
Two times came to mind. One when I opened up for Eastern Michigan's Student One Act, they had I am a heterosexual person, and they had me playing someone who was not heterosexual. Um, and I guess I was a little uncomfortable, I guess, with the amount of closeness at first. But when you really get down to it and understand that everything is acting, and that like no physical harm or touch is going to get to you, that one wasn't easier for me to get by. And the second one was Territories, where I play much more of a gangster and stuff like that. And I don't naturally have that dialect at times, so I had to go back, you know, look at a cousin, look at an uncle or something like that, and then get that dialect back, and then attack it again, coming from like a different angle at the character. So that one was way more of a mental challenge for me that I had fun with. Just by like, I like to people watch when I'm studying for characters. Go to the neighborhood I think I can find that person in, and just people watch for a second.
So, do you ever find yourself like, okay, having to detox after taking a character? Because I can give you an example. Lupita, when she did the film Us, she literally had to detox from taking on that character because it was a horror film, of course, and she had to literally get it out of her system. And Kiki Palmer said something to the extent when she did the film Pimp, where she played a female pimp, and she said when she got around her family, she thought that she was still in that character mode. Like, do you ever find yourself having to, okay, I'm back to myself now. I'm no longer the character. Have you ever had any moments or experiences
Um,
like that?
when I'm writing more than when I'm acting, yes. Um,
Mm,
I method write more than I method act, and I think those things come from when you're being method about things. Which is, if anyone doesn't know what I mean by method, I mean like you're internalizing the character and you're taking that home with you, and you're becoming more of that character at all times. So that way, when it's not that when the camera stops, you stop becoming that character. You're still in that character. It's just that scene is over. Versus method writing is much more where I will get into that emotion. Like I might not be sad about anything, but I'm writing such a sad scene that I might fill the
yeah.
whole day with like tears. And I'm very sorrowful and I'm crying, and it's that's when I'm more or less going through my roller coaster of emotion is when I'm writing, because I'm going through whatever that scene is putting me through at the time.
Wow. What do you think is the most important thing that makes an amazing, solid performance in a film?
Say that one more time for me. I'm sorry.
I was saying, what do you think is the most important thing that would make an excellent performance? The important aspect.
It's going to be a really common one, but I'm going to say getting in the zone. Like when someone is truly in the zone, like they're truly not thinking, there's no thought process, there's no anything. You're just acting and reacting to whatever it is that you are seeing at the time. And you're not thinking like, I think that a lot of problems that I have personally, this is me when it comes to acting, is thought in general. Like, I'm gonna let this car pass. Like thought in general. So like anytime I have to think about like, did should I put it here or here? Last time we rehearsed, we put it there. Do I want to end on this line or this line? I kind of jumbled up in the. If I'm thinking, I'm not in the zone. I know that just for me personally. For me personally, if there's butterflies in my head, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm moving autonomously. That's when I feel like I'm giving my best performance and I'm doing the best ever. Obviously, it's going to be small little things that you learn along the way: how to make your face turn red, how to make your eyes dramatically move, things like that, how to cry on command. But I feel as though like anything, you're going to have starting blocks, and the best you can be is when you're being autonomous about it. You're just in the zone. You're just going.
What are some of your rituals that you do before going on set?
I go on set for a lot, not just acting. I direct, I write, I act, I edit, I AC, I grip, I gaff. So it depends on exactly what I'm going to what I'm going to set for that day. Like if I am doing anything that's behind the camera, it's more like hype stuff. Like I'm very hyper about it, so I want to listen to anything that's going to get me like up and ready for the day. Because when you're on the crew, you're there for like 12 hours or 16. You're there for a very long time, so you want to get in the zone. You want to be happy and stuff like that. Nobody wants to be 12 hours sad or depressed or be around somebody sad or depressed. You want to be happy. And if I am an actor, it depends on the scenes for the day when I get the call sheet. So, like, if I am doing all depressed scenes or something like that, it depends on how the director wants to, like, or AD wants to schedule out the days. If they want to schedule it based upon emotions, then if I'm doing like a very sad day, then probably listening to all sad music, on the way there, thinking about things that can make me or make me feel away. Or I personally think that when you go through emotions, you do not go through one emotion. So no one is just sad. You are like sad and angry. You are sad and happy. You are, a compound of things. So I like to really think about the compound that I am and try to get music to gear towards that compound.
And that element, exactly. Which brings me to my next question. This is sort of like motivational, thought provoking. If you had the chance to put something on billboards worldwide next week, what would it be?
Ooh, if I had one made me think of my IP that I'm writing right now, and the other one was to never give up. I think it would be never give up. I know never give up is always a slogan that we hear often, but when you're in it and you feel like, this won't work, that won't work, or the wheels are going down and stuff like that, you know, you want to go for the never give up because it's something that you need at the time.
Absolutely. To keep encouraged. And what keeps you grounded? How do you stay so centered?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
How do you stay so centered? How do you stay grounded?
Experience, and also I'm big into philosophy. I'm really huge into philosophy. I
Me
like
too.
I like to think about things such as like Montemori, or which is a Stoicism philosophy. They believe that as you live, you die. So the thing that you really spend is time on any given thing, like not money, not anything. You're going to think about everything that you're doing. Like I'm dying to do this thing. So if I'm dying to do this thing, I want to have fun. I want to be happy. I want to like be in a position to be happy, and like just different things like that. The idea of being in the zone, all kind of just different things to help me get through the day, I guess. So philosophies.
The same here. I do motivation, I do affirmations every morning, and I pray. And I do believe that there is a higher being. I believe in God, and I do a lot of self-reflection as well too, and that can help you get through the day through whatever it is. So stay encouraged all the time. Now, my next question for you is: if you could trade places with any other character in any film, who would it be and why?
It would be Leonardo DiCaprio on Wolf of Wall Street because he was crazy rich. I just really wouldn't do half of the bad stuff he did. Just don't do half of the bad stuff. Take all of the money, have all of the fun, and call it a
All right,
day.
there we go. Do you have any funny or interesting stories from auditions or just on set in general?
Man, there's so many I can't even boiling it down is the hard part. One time, one time on set, um, one time on set, I'm trying to think God, so many. One time on sound, when I did sound, I had to get stuffed inside of a cabinet. So I crawled all the way up into the cabinet to grab the sound
Uh-oh.
for the person. Because the things that we had, it was a very funny. I wish I had the picture to put up with it. It was just a very funny incident to be in. Um, Another one was in class, I guess, when I was first learning acting, I had forgot a line, or rather forgot a paragraph, right? So my teacher knew the paragraph and knew the line. So when I had forgot it, it was the first time I ever learned the lesson, the show must go on, which if no one knows that, whether you forget, whether you do anything, that show has to keep going. So when I learned the show must go on, it was he was just just pick it up. And the way he said, just pick it up, he was so dramatic. And it was so overacted that it made me burst out into laughter at the time because I'm already nervous about a lot of things and stuff like that. So I'm dying laughing. And as I'm dying laughing, he made it just help me remember because it was so much fun.
All right, there we go. All right, fashion dolls. So we're about to have some fun here with Cohl, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're gonna do some black actor trivia, and then Cohl here is gonna ask me some questions in a segment I like to call "Turn the Tables." All right. So I'm gonna test his knowledge on black actor trivia and see how well he knows this. All right. So I'm gonna give you a few questions. All right, and you have to tell me which one do you think it is. Okay. So we're gonna get into some black actor trivia. Okay, waiting on it to pull up over here. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. I am. I had such an amazing time and having a great time here. So let me see. While we're waiting on it to come up, it's taking its time. There we are. All right. Which African American actor starred as rap legend Rudy Ray Moore in 2019? Dolomite is my name. And here's your
Eddie
clue.
Murphy?
Yep, that is correct. All right, here's the next one. Which television producer is known for shows like Grey's Anatomy and How to Get Away with Murder?
Shonda Rhimes?
Correct. Yes. Which actress voiced Disney's first African American princess Tiana in The Princess and the Frog?
Oh, I don't know who voiced Tiana. I'm scared of that one.
Okay, let me give you the choices. Kiki Palmer, Lupita Nyong'o, Brandy, and Anika Noni Rose.
I'm going to go with Brandy, but I don't know.
She was Cinderella.
I know she was Cinderella.
I'll
I
give
thought
you
they
a
were.
hint. She was, but she was one of the first Black Disney princesses.
That's why I thought
So,
you're back. That's
yeah,
why I was going for the.
I'll give you a hint. She was a dream girl alongside Beyonce.
What are the four again?
Anika Noni Rose, Brandy, Lupita Nyong'o, and Kiki Palmer.
Was it Anika?
That's it. Anika Noni Rose. She was in Dreamgirls with Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, and Jennifer Hudson. So it was her. All right. Here's the next one. Which star was the first African American performer to win an Academy Award? Hattie McDaniel, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, or Whoopi Goldberg?
Are you saying of those four, or are you saying which person in general?
Yes, which star, which actor out of these four that I just named?
If it's not Denzel Washington, it's Patty.
Hattie McDaniel, yes, she was the first African American woman to win an Academy Award for Gone with the Wind. And due to the way that things were back then, how segregated they were, she had to go through the back door in an opposite room to receive her award. So we've come a long way from that. We're still fighting.
I believe it
Okay.
was for best supporting, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yes, for Gone with the Wind. Yeah. Okay, here's the next one. Who became the first African American actress to win an Oscar for Best Actress in 2002?
Wow.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Halle Berry, Lena Horne, Octavia Spencer.
Was it Halle Berry?
That is it. Monsters Ball, yes. Okay, here's the next one. Which two Black celebrities currently hold the record for the most Emmy Award wins? And it's a total of 4. Okay. Octavia Spencer and Halle Berry, Alfred Woodard and Regina King, John Ridley and Jordan Peele, Whoopi Goldberg and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Wow. I actually don't know this one at all, but I'm going to go with Jordan Peele. No, I don't know this one. This is the one that stumped me.
Alfred Woodard and Regina King.
Regina King has done a lot, so I can imagine that she deserves those Emmys.
All right, here's the last one. Which Black singer is known for hits like Brick House and Say You, Say Me? Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, or Lionel Richie?
Was it Stevie? Say that question again. Maybe I didn't hear you.
Which Black singer is well known for hits like Brick House and Say You, Say Me?
It's not Stevie. You said, was it Stevie Wonder? Was it? I only heard Stevie.
Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Lionel Richie. Those are your choices. That's it? Yes. All right. Last question, Fashion Dolls. Which Black singer was the first to win a Grammy Award? Michael Jackson, Ella Fitzgerald, Whitney Houston, or Stevie Wonder?
I'm going to fall for the bait and go Ella Fitzgerald.
That's it? Yep. Yeah. All right, Fashion Dolls, and that is Black Actor Trivia. All right? So now it is time to turn those tables with my guest here, Cohl. And he's going to ask me some questions. It can be anything related to beauty, fashion, family, goals, passion, whatever you would like to know. You get to find out through Cohl's questioning, all right? So take it away.
Okay, I like this part. My question to you is, you said that you got your inspiration, where you get your inspiration from, but how did your inspiration start? Where did you know you love fashion? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. You asked me when did I know what now? I couldn't hear you.
When did you know you love fashion? Like when did it kick in?
In high school, actually, high school, middle school. I always knew that I had a love for fashion because I would get so deep into it. I would draw, I would do a lot of fashion illustration. And then as I got into my high school years, my assistant principal put me on to other fashion designers because at that time it was what? Abercrombie and Fitch, it was South Pole. Those were things that we all were wearing when we were going to middle school all the way up until high school. Well, as I got in high school, I started experimenting with style. I didn't dress like all the other kids. I would wear the seersucker blazers. I would just put my own flair onto it. And that's what caught the eye of the assistant principal. And she came in there in the lunchroom one day. And we were all in there doing what teenagers do in the high school. And me, I was doodling in my little sketchbook. And she came up behind me. She said, I see you like fashion. I'll bring you some Vogue and Harper's Bazaar. And when I opened those magazines, it was like a whole nother world. A lot of designers that I've never heard of, from Isadine Alaya to Prabal Gurung to Parenza Score to Valentino to Oscar de la Renta, Christian Dior, Mugler. I could go on and on. But when I opened it, especially the big ones, because these books were this thick, it was like at least 800 pages, the big, thick issues. And it had Kate Moss on the cover of one of them. I remember it just like it was yesterday. I have that one still. And she just kept bringing them. And shout outs to my best friend, my girl Avery. She is now a makeup artist in the Atlanta area. Bella Slave Space is here on the gram. Make sure you guys go and follow her. She was also into fashion, and we would have to share the magazines. She just like, well, Stevie, Avery got the magazine this week. Did she give it to you? I'd be like, no, she didn't give it to me yet. So she would bring me other issues of Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, and we would have to share them because we were so much into fashion, and that's how me and Avery clicked because we loved it so much. So that's where the inspiration came from, and it also came from my grandmother, who's no longer here, rest her soul. She just had her own, just had her own flair with the way that she did things, the way she presented herself. So I've learned that and just developed that over the years and put my own flair into it. So that's how I got into fashion.
Okay. And my next question is, how did flat fashion bleed over into your love for film?
How did fashion lead over into my love for film? Okay, watching, I would have to say I've learned from, watching certain films. Like growing up, it was the 70s exploitation era for me. Pam Grier, hands down, is one of my favorite actresses. Foxy Brown is one of my favorite movies. And it's just something about Pam Grier when she came on the scene. She was so unapologetically
Pam,
herself.
yeah.
And as a woman, I can relate to that. Her sensuality she exuded when she was these characters, and she was also badass. So watching her be able to change up her look on film, and then it was the late 80s. It was Diane Carroll for me. Dynasty, going back and watching Diane Carroll on Dynasty exude this character, Dominique Devereaux. She would come in with her furs and the shoulder pads. The 80s was all about the drama and over exaggeration. So that's how it came into watching different films and studying the fashion and the eras. Another one would be Diana Ross and Mahogany, the most powerful women. I could go back in time watching Lola Falana. If not her, then Grace Jones. And another one, I said, okay, she reminds me a little bit of Pam Grier because they're both unapologetic in any character that they care. It's a fearlessness about them. And I said, these women own their sensuality. They come in the room with their own swag as each character, and they're badass doing it. So that's how my love with fashion and film came.
Okay. That was an amazing story. I like that. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see if I can get a third one. Everyone loves the three and out. So I'm gonna try to give you your third question. So we talked about your inspiration of fashion and we talked about your inspiration of film. Let's talk about your inspiration for talk show hosting. So how did those all come together and how did we get here?
Well, right after high school, originally, I started off doing Style by Stevie, believe it or not, in 2014. And to see that we are still going strong now in 2023. Now, if you've seen the announcements in my story, we're coming back for season 18, already getting guest booked for 2024. So it's going to be some amazing guests. You guys stay tuned. Lola Falana doesn't get enough credit. She doesn't. And I feel as though the film world can definitely give her props. She's been there. She was that girl, along with Pam Grier. But the inspiration for Style by Stevie came from actually, going to beauty school. Our parents asked us, okay, when it comes time senior year to graduate from high school, your parents always ask you, what is good, what is going to be your next move? So my next move, I worked in a hair salon. And that didn't go the way I would have wanted it to go, but I said, you know what? Let me do my own thing. And from there, I went on and I developed, before it was called Weekday Topics, and we would do it at 11 o'clock, not 4 p.m. And we would just talk about pop culture and celebrities. And I said, it's got to have a name. What is the name going to be? Boom, Style by Stevie. I said, I love fashion. I have my own sense of style. I'm not like other talk show hosts, not like other people who host their platforms and who do commentary or whatever. I said, it's got to be cutting edge. It's got to be revolutionary. No, I want to host a talk show and I want to look just like those girls that are in Vogue magazine and Harper's Bazaar. I got to come with my own thing. So I started experimenting with my look and different things each season. And that's how Style by Stevie came to play right after high school. Before it was called Weekday Topic. And I just said, these days, everybody knows Weekday Topic. Watch the news, and there's something current going on in the news, but it's got to be catchy. It's got to grab people's attention. It's got to be something that has an it factor that will draw people to say, what is it that she has that sets her aside from other people? And Style by Stevie was Blossom, just like.
It's beautiful. That
Mm,
was meant. That means it's meant to happen.
yes. And I know you're probably going to ask this question: who are some of my talk show hosts that have influenced me? Of course, Ricky Lake is one. Tamron Hall is another one. Um, hats off to Oprah. But if it wasn't, it's not just Oprah, but Della Reese was originally the first Black woman to have a talk show, and people don't really talk enough about that. So Della Reese opened the door for Oprah and all these other Rolanda and all these other talk show hosts that are Queen Latifah and so many others. So of course, Queen Latifah is one of my influences, but I try to do my own thing when it comes to my delivery and approach on certain topics. And I try to make it relatable and come from a place where it's just like, okay, she can be the girl next door. She can be the aunt. She can be the concerned sister, the concerned family member. That's how I do it with my delivery when it comes to certain things on this platform.
Okay. Felt like I know you so much more.
Yep, just through that. It's called Turn the Tables. And for my new viewers that are coming in, I see a lot of new faces that are coming in. Thank you for tuning in. You get to know a little bit about me through post questioning. So, in case you guys are wondering, those are some things that you can find out about me is that I like and who inspires me and keeps me going. Mostly my mom. My mom definitely has been a big influence in my life. So I wouldn't be here without her. Definitely.
Yeah, I can say the same.
All right, fashion dolls. I think that is it for Turn the Tables. This is Cohl, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any questions for myself, Cohl? And shout out to Jay Evans. Make sure you guys go and check out the Talk with Jay Evans. Great platform. He does a lot of reviews on what's going on in pop culture and reality TV. So if you are a Atlanta Housewives fanatic, you want to know what's going on with Married to Medicine, check him out. All commentary and a few famous interviews. We also did a collaboration as well too with my brother K Tukes. Make sure you guys go and check out his talk show and platform. K Tukes has also been a major support system for Style by Stevie. So shout outs to my brother K Tukes. And let me see, I think we got a question. There, there we go. Ooh, all right. This is for you, Cole. Um, Alan Yankee wants to know, my fraternal, he wants to know, since you like fashion and acting, would you ever design for a character?
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be a fun time. I would love to design for a character. Definitely. Absolutely. Um, like I said before, I would like to go into like, I guess when it goes into design, it goes almost into what I was thinking of their speech pattern, which is their social economics, which would go into what clothes they have access to or what clothes they will ever have access to. What clothes they'll like usually will be based upon like what school did they go to and stuff like that, or like the trends at that school that they did go to that other people did. Things like that will be so much fun to just like design on a person and things like that. Thank you. I see someone in the thing saying they love my bow tie. Thank you a lot.
Yep, Jay Evans. And the next question for you is, what would be your dream film to direct?
My dream film to direct would be The Ada Sky, which is a film that I've already written. What it is there is a superhero on his commemoration day, so everyone's going into this art gallery to thank him for everything, and then there's a family there who has to steal a painting of his deceased wife because they're just painted pushed against a wall, and so they have to get this painting away from this superhero. And if I could direct one thing, it would be to direct The Ada Sky, so I could give it to everyone, so everyone can see it how I see it in my head.
Mm, I can see that. And you're so innovative when it comes to style, and you have your own flair, and that's what drew me instantly to you. And I said, okay, he's got to come to the dollhouse. It's people out here. This is somewhat. What I love is when people have their own individuality, and that's what sets us aside from other film directors or producers or hosts of platforms. Is originality, and that is key.
Yes. I think that in anything that you do, you should be yourself, even when it's hard,
Yeah.
especially when it's hard.
Do we have any more questions for myself or Cole, ladies and gentlemen? While you guys are typing, I'm going to give you guys some words of encouragement. Final thought of the day before we wrap up, and it comes from Cicely Tyson. It goes back to what Cole was saying in the beginning of the interview, which is being grounded and having that solid foundation behind you, and more importantly, having something that you believe in. Manifestation and philosophy. He talked about philosophy. I'm a firm believer in divine guidance. That guidance from a higher power can take you places that you've never thought you would have seen. I would have never thought that I would still be here 500 interviews later. So that 500 that you guys see, I completed 500 interviews just this year. And it's because of the hard work, determination. Half of those interviews, I was sick, battling with acid reflux. And you guys would never know that. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? I didn't tell anybody. Only a few people knew. But I did it to show that when it's something that you're passionate about, you eat, sleep, you breathe this, you do this, and you continue to keep going. So that's my thought to anybody. Believe in God and put God first in everything that you do. And stay encouraged, stay motivated. It will all come into fruition if you plan ahead. And I do vision boards. So I like to plan ahead with my life and what I want to put the pieces of the next story and the next phase of my life together. Let me see. Oh, we got another question for you, Cole. If you had the opportunity to design for a movie, past or present, which character would you love to design?
Ooh, if I had a chance to design for him. So there's a show on this now. However, the show doesn't match the book title, and I can't think of the book title off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I literally know what happens in the book. It is I would like to design the woman who is the lead. Um, let's see. I would like to design the woman who is the lead. I'm trying to really remember. Her powers was that she could go back in time, but she couldn't control it, and she was a black woman. And so, because she couldn't control it, and she was a black woman, she would go back in time into slavery, and she could not control it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to design her. I think that the style that she had, I would love to design modern style and then design slavery style, and then see things that are juxtaposed to the things that we were or do then that we do now that people might not even know.
I
That come
think you're talking about No with the Jordan Peele film. I think that's what you're talking about.
no.
Because Keke Palmer's character did kind of go through something like that in the film. And she went back in time as her present self. So I think that's what you're talking about.
I I'm trying to I'm I didn't I wasn't talking about that. What I was talking about comes on Hulu, and I can't remember the name of it, and I'm pretty sure
Oh, okay.
it's going.
Yeah. It's similar in a way though. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Nope was very, very fun to watch and stuff like that. I think if I had another chance to design a character, it would probably be the woman from Alien, the main character of Alien. I really like an Alien X, her design. And finally, if I could do another character to design, it would probably be Jason from Jason X. I think that it will be a chance to touch a legacy character. That's always fun, to touch a character that like everybody knows, everybody has that idea in their head for, and then like make it a bit different. I guess another touch on that is I like color blend, so I would probably be doing like a Harry Potter but black type of deal. I kind of like
Mm.
the idea, if not being able to color blend, the idea of being able to create your own characters.
Um, Antebellum. Auntie Lock says Antebellum.
Oh, Antebellum. That is the name of the title. That is the name of the series. Yes.
Mhm. And you said Black Comets. Okay, of course we were seeing that with the Marvelverse with Black Panther, and of course kind of all of that, the whole generation. China McCoy, who I've had on the show, who did The Matrix, he has his comic book, and then you guys know her as Max from Living Single. A lot of people still don't know she created her own comic book and her characters as well too. Erica Alexander, yes.
Wow, I want to look that up.
hmm Yeah. So we're seeing it. Everybody is just, we need more of it. We need to see more
Absolutely.
representation of it
I
because
mean,
it's so likely. We know Marvel, but we want black action figurines, black action characters. And Black Panther has opened the door for that.
I'm a huge I'm a huge lover of Afrofuturistic styles, and
Mm,
that's what I would like to see more of. It's just simply Afrofuturistic things. I feel as though like that sci-fi feel of creating things that are not necessarily there, but that could be more like flamboyant to the time or something like that,
mm,
can
mm.
really pop out with more sci-fi things, because I feel like we limit ourselves if we only go for like dramas or realities versus like imagine the designs that we could come up with when we just set our mind free.
Oh, yeah. And that will open the door to so much even more creativity because we have it. It's within us. And I've seen the Black Comic Con, or what is it, Afro Punk, where people come dressed up in their own cosplay. And it's our people who look like us. It's inclusive. And Essence Magazine posts about it all the time, about how when we have these events, it happens where people come dressed to the nines as their favorite character. And it's
Yeah,
so it's more representation. We need that.
absolutely. Representation in general is just, it's important because we don't know who we inspire. So just by simply walking or being, just by simply being, you might inspire somebody else who creates something else that's so beautiful. But you will limit yourself if you never get exposed to that thing that can inspire you in the first place.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So what advice would you give to anybody who's looking to go into writing, directing, or acting?
I would like to say that even though you might not get it your first or your second time, it's going to
Oh
be
yeah.
so easy to fall in love with, because you're going to have so many people who are going to be there to help you through that to get to your third and your fourth time or your fifth time where you actually make it in. And you're going to get people who you never even thought to like help you out. So I would like to say that if you're going into the film world for the first time, and this is your first time going about anything in the film world, you should definitely understand that everybody is loving. That's what I would say. Everyone is loving, and everybody wants you to succeed. So if you want to succeed, definitely go out and meet those other people so you can succeed with them.
Yes. And stay grounded. Surround yourself with the right kind of people in this business. Not everybody is your friend. They're there to latch on and get what they can get from you, but stay grounded with the people who are have been there from the beginning. And I think Jay Evans, K Toops, Alan Yankee, my friend Felicia. So it's so many. I can go down the list and thank everybody who's been there in the circle through the ups and downs, through the challenges. They know how difficult it's been. But it's amazing to be surrounded by love. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You keep those people with you. Now, the ones that'll come there, people come and they go temporarily. They wasn't meant to be there. Keep the ones who have been there, who will support you to the very, very end, from beginning to end. Keep them.
I agree.
All right, fashion dolls. Do we have any questions for myself or Cole before we wrap up? Joining me Wednesday, we have Ethic Dewan, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys tune in for that. All right. And Tete a Tete will be back next Tuesday. I know you guys were expecting an episode tomorrow, but it's every other Tuesday. So me and Manny will be back for my other talk show with my co-host, Manny Killer. Tete a Tete, that will be next Tuesday. So make sure you guys set your reminders at 3, and we'll have that lineup up this Friday. As we all know, New York Fashion Week is going on. So stay tuned here to Style by Stevie so that you guys can get the coverage. We're getting some things together for the magazine. You guys know that I am one of the fashion writers for Original Magazine UK. We got another question for you. What made you continue to fall in love with what you do when it seemed troubling? And that's from Alan Yankee.
Um, I strongly believe, well, I'm gonna give you a philosophy that there is never all bad. You will never go through anything, and everything that happens will be all bad. So if you can
Oh yeah.
find that one good thing that happened to you while that bad thing is happening, I would say focus on that, because it's so easy to see your weaknesses and everything else, but it's really hard to see your strengths all the time. And even when it's darkest is when you probably most need your. And I could say honestly, like, that really helps me out a lot, is being able to focus on what I'm good at and not focus on or beat down what I'm not doing good at.
Oh yeah. And I've learned to stop doing that as well too. I would go back and watch some of my interviews and I would critique myself very, very harshly. And I'm pretty sure a lot of actors do that from time to time, or writers or directors will go back and watch some of their projects and they will critique, ooh, maybe this could have been a little bit better. Sometimes we are our own worst critic, and that's what gets in the way of deterring you from the positivity that people are giving to you. So I've learned to stop doing that, putting myself down. When other people just like, oh, you're tripping. We didn't see that. You did awesome. So stop putting yourself down and uplift yourself more than anything.
Absolutely. Because you got to live with you.
And there's only one version. Originality is key. Remember that, to anybody who's looking to get in this business. So with that being said, Cohl, final thought. Are there any gems that you would like to leave with the doll here in the dollhouse and to your supporters? Because I see a few of your leads coming through.
Absolutely. The thing I would like to leave with is, today is only today. You will always have tomorrow, and you can always keep trying.
Absolutely. Yes. And where can everyone follow you and check you out?
You can find me on all platforms at Cohl Echols. That's COHLECHOLS. That's for all social media platforms. Um, and you can find an Iron Arc YouTube page that had a lot of my previous work on it. If you're ever wondering, like, I want to see some of the previous work. Um, I'm trying to think if I had anything else at that time, but I don't believe I do. So Cohl Echols, Iron Arc YouTube.
All right. Fashion dolls. And as you all know, this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime. Head on over and subscribe on to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. Subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new interviews will be uploaded as well, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Special thanks to my makeup artist, Melanie Nalla, my Bridges. She understood the assignment. And I must say, I'm very proud with today's look. I love it. Jay Evans, thank you for that compliment. He said that it is giving vintage glamour, which is exactly what I was going for. Marilyn Monroe meets Beyonce meets Pam Grier. Just sex symbol. That's what I was going for. All right. So without further ado, fashion dolls, thank you, Cohl, so much for coming to the dollhouse.
Thank you for having me, and thank everybody for looking.
Yes, I would love to have you back again in the future.
Absolutely.
All right. Fashion dolls, that is it. And we will see you guys Wednesday or hopefully tomorrow. Talisha's hopefully joining me. If not tomorrow, then Wednesday. I love you all, and the replay will be up. Take care, everyone.